What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Adaptations podcast, where each week I bring on some friends who specialize in fitness or strength training so that you can get influenced on how to implement fitness and training into your life. Today, we've got my good friend, Nathaniel Wolf.
That's me.
Powerlifter. What else do you do in your day-to-day basis?
I just work.
Dog dad,
powerlifter,
labor,
super Jew,
contributor to society. He's saying that because he is a Jew and he's strong. He's like super strong. So I guess you are a super Jew.
Arguably the strongest Jew in North America.
Arguably.
Find a Jew with a higher total than me.
That you could like take that as your slogan, put that on Instagram if you can validate
We're not counting Dots or Wilkes right now because Leah Beauvoir is in North America right now and she's Jewish. And she has like a 600 dot score or something.
So what are your dots?
469.
Which, by the way, dots is just like what is like an equation?
It's the math equation to measure strength in powerlifting
amongst different weights and
it levels the playing field amongst people between who are my size, who are 280 pounds, and people who are 110 pounds.
Right.
So it measures strength mathematically.
Right.
So my dot score is 469 pounds.
So
nice.
So we got to find, now I don't know if there's there's certainly not a filter by Jewish and non-Jews.
No,
you have to do your own research.
You have to do your own research
to find the list of strong lifters
and who are Jewish
and filter them out.
Yes,
so that you know where you're ranking.
I know 3 or 4 Jewish powerlifters who are stronger than me, like who have a higher total than me, and that's about it.
But do they have higher dots? Is the question.
Probably,
potentially,
because they total over 2,000 pounds. So
that's awesome.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Dots wise though, I'm definitely in like the top 50, maybe for Jews. I don't know. That's tougher to find. Also, there's no weight classes in the jungle, so it's all about the amount of weight you lift. True.
If I needed to change a spare tire and I didn't have a jack,
it doesn't matter what your dot score is.
You could just lift it.
Yeah,
you're right there.
Exactly.
So, strong. What are you weighing at now, dude?
I'm like high 270s right now.
270?
Yeah.
Dude, but you look like a good 270.
It varies day to day, like body dysmorphia is like real for me too. Like I look in the mirror, I'm like, some days I'm just like, Jesus, you look like Santa Claus.
Really?
And other days I'm just like, you know what, you don't look half bad. You look pretty jacked.
That's if like Santa Claus like juiced up on Deca and like evil and shit.
But like I guess like the thing is I'm so much involved in the fitness community. I always see people, who look absolutely jacked, very low body fat percentage compared to myself. So I'm comparing myself to them. And that's where I guess my body dysmorphia comes from.
I won't say funny because it's not very funny. That body dysmorphia is nothing to really laugh at.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah. But in my eyes, I see you and I feel like this. And that's my body dysmorphia is I constantly feel like this. Like I feel so that I bump into people and I'm like my proprioceptive signals are just off because I feel like I'm smaller than I actually am.
Yeah, so I just started watching on Netflix. Have you seen the Physical 100?
No.
Okay, so it's
I know.
It's the Korean show.
Yes.
And so it's very fascinating because they're bringing in 100 people from all walks of fitness. You have like Olympic wrestlers, MMA fighters, bodybuilders, CrossFitters, strongmen, powerlifters. And then there's a prison guard was one of them, a car dealer. The car dealer's my favorite. He's like a strongman powerlifter and is just the biggest human being alive. But it's very fascinating seeing how all these people line up next to each other and they're all considered, fit in their own aspect. And so that like, I guess that helps me with my idea of body dysmorphia in that, there's not one definition, one like picture perfect physique when it comes to fitness because it's all about what our goals are. My goal is not stepping on stage and getting judged for, my 6-pack and being able to suck in my tummy and flex my biceps.
Right.
My goal is to be as strong as humanly possible.
Right. And that doesn't come with aesthetics all the time. But at the same token, you could knock it off easily if you wanted to.
Yeah, if I wanted to. I really like pizza and ice cream and the sandwiches at Cangiano's. And
pushing heavy weight.
But I love pushing heavy weight.
What are you benching at now?
I just started repping 400.
You started repping 400.
Neil and I believe that I should be able in the next couple of weeks to do a 3x3 with 405.
Nice.
And that we think by summer 3x5 with 405. So The goal really is 4 reds, so 485, 496, 485, 496, one of those.
As long as if the collar's included or not.
As long as there's 4 reds, I don't care if the collar's on. It just needs to look pretty.
That's very impressive, though. That's potentially a 500-pound bench.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and that's actually something that many people like. So there's a lot of people that will get to the 500 deadlift, the 500 squat. The 500 bench is very uncommon.
I was at Adelante the other day. I was squatting. I was doing 4 or 5 reps, I forget, with 530 on the bar for my squats. And there's this some motherfucker there just not repping out. He hit a single at 530 also. I looked over. I'm like, that's the same weight I'm squatting, bro. Like, can you not? Can you wait till I'm done?
How big was he?
He wasn't that big. He was probably like a solid like 110 of muscle.
Yeah, it's
so like 242.
Yeah, it's the norm now. Like to be able to squat 500, like in the powerlifting community at least, to squat 500, bench in the 3s, and deadlift in like close to the 6s.
But he's an RPS lifter, so it's.
Well, we know what happened to RPS lifters once they joined Adelante. They typically convert. They do convert.
I mean, it's all the USPA lifters converting now.
I don't know how I feel about that. I know
we're watching something implode in real time.
Listen, I know that. Yeah, well, with everything that's going on with USAPL, what happened with the USPA?
No, it's USPA.
Yeah, what happened?
Basically, it started coming out that certain state chairs and like meet directors had some really problematic backgrounds.
Yeah,
child abuse, sexual abuse, stalking, sexual assault, like sexual harassment. And the USPA was basically like, oh, we didn't know, but they were saying, oh, but you told us you were running background checks, and it was sex offender background checks, and those weren't even that accurate because they did have sex offenders who were in meet directors or state chairs. Don't quote me on that. I don't want to be held liable. But
they weren't.
From my understanding, there was a lot of problematic stuff. And a lot of stuff you're seeing, like from Joe Sullivan, who's been very vocal, Papa Bear Rogers, who are like the 2 of the USPA's biggest guys, just immediately say, we don't want to be affiliated with you. I was talking to a few guys at Adelante who worked, they held state records, they were state refs, and they literally emailed the USPA's office and were like, expunge us. Don't even get rid of it. Expunge me from your record book. I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah. I know Liam, he posted something about that from Sin Powerlifting. Mm-hmm. And that's how I heard about it. It was just
it's like all over, and they're like digging their heels in now. It's just a mess. It's a real mess.
Yeah.
And what's crazy though is the WRPF was basically like, oh, if you're a USPA member, you could come to us and we're going to waive your first year of membership fees.
WRPF?
It's the same thing. It's literally the exact same thing as the USPA. It's just because WRPF was based out of Russia.
Okay.
Or was at least founded in Russia. I don't know if it's still based out of Russia.
What does that stand for?
World Raw Powerlifting Federation.
Okay.
It's just, there's a million of these.
But is that that's not the parent of USPA?
No, it's not. The parent of the USPA is the IPL.
The IPL, right.
And so the WRPF is the global organizations, WRPF USA, WRPF, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And so I know they were basically like, if you're in the USPA, come to us, we'll waive your membership fees.
Yeah.
And they started doing drug-tested lifting. They started implementing drug-tested events because, that's a lot of people at the USPA would do drug-tested because, they get the 24-hour weigh-in and the deadlift bar.
Right.
So they, instead of going USAPL, they go USPA drug tested.
Yeah.
So WRPF is like, oh, we'll do drug tested. We'll literally all these meets that the USPA were doing are now being sanctioned by the WRPF.
But how sophisticated are their operations? Like, are they able to
I have no
handle
idea.
All that?
Look, I just know as a marketing thing, that's brilliant.
It is. Yeah.
You probably at least raised your membership by 50% from that.
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is people don't want to be affiliated with the USPA because it not only is what they did bad, but it looks bad on you if down the road someone finds out, oh, you're affiliated with this, and you look into it and you're like, oh, I
You think it'll get that bad?
No, it's powerlifting.
Yeah,
no one cares about powerlifting.
And people tend to forget.
Yeah, powerlifting, especially powerlifting, is a very short-term memory sport.
Yeah,
we don't remember things from 5 years ago.
No,
but The
remember Ed Cohen?
I'm not going to say everyone remembers Ed Cohen. I don't know if half the people who started powerlifting last year know who Ed Cohen is.
We should educate them.
If I wanted to talk to them.
Ed Cohen's
the GOAT. I bet you if you walked into a powerlifting gym nowadays with, all these young guys who have their cameras and their microphones and doing their vlogs, and you ask them who Louis Simmons is or who Ed Cohen is, they won't know.
Yeah.
I had a discussion with a friend the other day. She had a shoulder injury at the gym, and she was going to stop benching, so I was just like, try out the football bar. Like, the football bar, you have the neutral grip, it's good on your shoulder. So she tried it out. Guess what? It worked. She didn't have any shoulder pain. So I congratulated her. I'm like, you're a West Side lifter now. She's like, what's that? What do you mean? I'm like, you're a power lifter and you don't know what West Side is?
Nah.
I had to take a double. I was
like the old YouTube days.
I mean, but West Side, like, look, conjugate always gets shit. Rightfully so. It's like what we were talking about before we started recording with Amish and Hasidic Jews. It's being stuck in the past. Like, it's what you believe in, and you want to stick to it, even though it was cool in the 70s and it worked in the 70s. It doesn't work anymore. How many world-level tested, non-tested athletes use conjugate?
Yeah.
Well, everyone uses a style of conjugate, but like, who uses direct conjugate method anymore?
Yeah,
that's a good lifter. No one.
I think I agree with you. I think it has to do with like sort of like the bubble that they're living in. Because a lot of like powerlifting is just living in a bubble in your own gym, and doing what people next to you are doing. And some of those gyms exist still here in Jersey.
Oh yeah. Well, I've never met him, but do you remember when there was the beef with Skiba and Adelante?
I didn't know there was beef. No,
it was because like Dan and Sergio came over.
Oh, that's such a shame.
And so Skiba just started commenting on posts and just like.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he was just shit talking everything about Adelante. It was bad.
I've been to Skiba's before, and this was before Adelante existed. And it's a great place, man. I remember loving the environment. One of my friends, Aaron, brought me in, and I was like, "Damn, dude, this place doesn't like a place like this doesn't really
He's
exist."
An old West Side head.
He's an OG. Yeah, he is. No calibrated plates in there, but they had the 100-pound plates, and I thought that was cool.
That's cool.
That is cool.
I want to get, because we have the garage gym at Adam Swift's house. I want to get. I've been like trying to get 50 kilo plates.
The 50 kilo
calibrated 50 kilo plates.
Why is that hard to get?
I mean, they're $600.
Oh, okay.
They're just expensive, and it's just like, do I really want to drop like over $1,000 on one pair of plates?
The way I see it is like, if you do drop the $600 on the one pair or like the multiple pair, how is that? How many plates come in that?
It's just the
order?
50. It's just
one pair.
Just one pair of 50 kilo plates.
It's $600.
It's $600.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait, what brand?
All of them, like Rogue, Vulcan,
really?
Strong Arm. They're all very expensive.
I thought it was like isn't there like a pack? You can get like a 2,000-pound pack.
You could get the pack, but like those never come with the 50 kilos.
Oh.
Those come with a certain
I'm fucking stupid. You've been saying 50 kilos, and I'm thinking 50 pounds, which is 25 kilograms.
No. I'm saying 50 kilos,
110-pound plates.
Yeah.
Shit, that's dope. That's so awesome.
Yeah, but I've heard they're also a bitch to pick up.
I'm sure they are. They're 110 pounds.
You've ever done double 25?
I've done the double 20, double 45s. Yeah. I do it all the time.
Okay.
And I love doing it at like regular commercial gyms.
I was training at I was training at the World Boxing Gym yesterday.
That's nice gym too.
It's a nice gym for what it is.
The thing is the way I see is every gym has their own personality, and they usually mimic the personality of the owner and what the owner's interests are. Because
the World Boxing Gym is not a powerlifting gym. It's literally a boxing gym with weights. And I appreciate it for that.
But I think the owner at some point must have realized that members are coming here for the weights.
Yeah,
they obviously branched out to more weight like.
I was in the downstairs doing bench press. Having people stare at me because I'm a powerlifter and this
you're doing
small
commercial. Yeah.
And then I went upstairs to do my accessories, and I was just staring at the boxers because that's not something I do, but it's very fascinating to me.
Yeah, but I think powerlifting is a very interesting. I don't even want to call it a sport.
It's a hobby. It's a hobby
because. It's a way to continue to stay active. Like let's take a person such as yourself where you say you just love to eat. Now imagine if you ate as much as you did, but you didn't work out.
I've been there before. I know exactly what my life was like. I hated it. I started basically that's how my fitness journey began. I ate a lot and I didn't work out and I was miserable. And then I started working out and I lost about like 60 pounds.
How'd you get into working out? Like, what did you do when you first started?
When I first started really seriously working out, it was my sophomore year of college. I looked in the mirror. I was like, shit, I'm not happy with myself. I look like a fat piece of shit. And so I signed up for a personal trainer at college. And so it's just a student personal trainer, $40 for 4 months. Fuck yeah. So I did that. I worked with him. His name was Dylan. He was the goalie on the club hockey team. Really cool guy. Did not give a fuck about anything except for fitness. So it was really fun to work with him.
Yeah.
And, you know, I started squatting with him. I had like 25 pounds on each side. I never squatted before.
What'd you weigh?
I was like 230.
230.
But like a fat 230.
Fat 230.
No muscle mass really. Just eating, chilling. And then I started working out with him, and then that was in January. And then by June, July, I was 190 pounds.
Shit.
And it was starting to, like, I was putting on muscle at that point too. So that's why I say that's a 40-pound difference, but I'd say I lost more weight because I started putting on muscle also.
Yeah, but still,
yeah,
you at 190, I can't imagine that.
I could show you pictures.
How tall are you?
I'm 6 foot.
6 foot.
So I was slim.
You were slim. Yeah, you were
and
slim.
so then that's when I started like flirting with the idea of powerlifting. And where was I? No, that wasn't when I started flirting with the idea of powerlifting. Because that was the summer I interned in Washington, D.C. You know, I'd go for runs, I'd work out, I would do whatever. And then I studied abroad in Poland. And so I was in Krakow, Poland. Beautiful city. I highly recommend for anyone. Most underrated city in Europe. And I had a small gym. I would go there. I'd go work out with my friend. And that's when I started like realizing, you know, I'm a little stronger than most people. Like I'm bigger, I'm stronger. It's just the way it is. I was obsessed with C.T. Fletcher's armed warfare workout. Like the arm, I would do that once a week. Just my arms were massive. I was doing Steve Weatherford's Armageddon Pro. I was obsessed with doing arms. It was so fun. And then, so yeah, I started realizing I was never on a program. I realized, you know, I'm stronger than most people. And I knew a buddy from college who had been powerlifting since high school. So I started to message him, and I'm just like, yo, Doug, like, what do you think? Is this something I should get into? And he's like, here's some stuff, like read onto it. And so he put me onto 531 and all that stuff. So I started flirting around with powerlifting originally with 531. For like $20, I purchased Sebastian Oreb, the Australian strength coach, his powerlifting program. So I was flirting around with all these like generic programs, and it got to the point where, I was getting stronger. And then the final like programming I did on my own was German volume training. Are you familiar with German volume training? 10 sets of 10.
Okay.
Just brutal stuff.
Okay.
And so, but then there's like advanced German volume training. So it's just 10 sets of reps. So
what's advanced German volume?
10 sets of 5, 10 sets of 3, 10 sets of 2.
Okay.
So it's just high volume work. And eventually, you know, it's later, like less volume sets, but still 10 sets of anything is a lot.
Yeah.
And then so I was back in college, my senior year. I went to school in New Hampshire. So I was like Googling powerlifting, all this stuff. And I found Adelante Barbell Club on Google search because I'm from Maplewood, New Jersey. And so I found, holy shit, there's this gym right there. So I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, I'm interested in powerlifting. I'm originally from Maplewood. I'd love to find out more. So they put me in contact with Neil, who's my coach still today. Yeah. He and I did it wasn't Zoom. It was like a FaceTime. I don't know what it was. We did a video chat call. We discussed stuff, and we started working together the week of Thanksgiving 2017. Okay. And since then, you know, when I first started with him, he was like, oh, do you have plans to compete? Do you want to do this, that? I was like, nah, man, like, you know, I'm not going to win any competitions. I just want to be strong. I want to have fun.
That's what everybody says.
And then within like a month of doing it, I'm like, fuck. Like, I see everyone signing up for New Jersey States. I'm like, let's do it. Yeah. New Jersey States. Like, it's going to be my first competition. So we signed up for States, and that's how I got into powerlifting.
Yeah. What were your numbers at your first meet?
Oh, God. I squatted, I want to say 419.
Okay.
I bench pressed. What did I bench press? My first meet bench press story is the most embarrassing thing. I went out for my bench for the first attempt, and I sat under the bar. And I just waited because I forgot that I had to unrack the bar, and I thought it was a judge command to unrack the bar. Right?
Unrack.
Yeah, I thought that's what start was. So I timed out on my first bench.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So I think I finished.
Neil's probably looking at you like,
yeah, he was just like, he literally was like, what? He was like, what the fuck just happened? I'm just like, it was a brain fart.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was super embarrassed, but like, we recovered. It was good. I finished with a 297 bench. I've always been a strong bencher.
297 is pretty nice.
And
for
I deadlifted 518.
Okay, so solid numbers on your first.
It was
what weight class?
105.
105, so that's 230 pounds.
Yeah. And it was a 560 total, 560 kilo total.
What's that, like 10, 11?
It's like 11 something.
So if you said 297,
no, it's like a 12 something. 500 would be 1100.
Plus 5, plus 4, that's 9. 1200, it's around 1200.
Yeah, it's like a 1200 total.
Okay.
So
it's a pretty good total, like over 1,000 pounds. In your
for my first meet, 6 months into the sport.
And also like 8 for 9?
Yeah, 8 for 9.
Like 9 attempts, 3 attempts on squat, 3 attempts on bench, 3 attempts on deadlift.
8 for 9.
8 for 9.
All white lights except for being timed out on bench.
And then your last meet, what'd you hit?
Last meet, it was 639 squat.
639.
So 290. 290 kilos, 441 pound bench, 200 kilo bench. Yeah. And deadlift was 330 kilos, 727.
727.
So I've put on nearly 200 pounds onto each lift.
Onto each lift, yeah. That's great.
It's great. And then, but like, it's some people like look at that and like, holy shit, dude, like that, like I need to get there. I'm like, when I talk to people in the gym, they're like, you're so strong. Da, da, da. I'm like, yeah, well, I've been doing this for 6 years. Of course I'm going to be at this level.
Yeah. I think that says a lot to the people that are rather successful in like powerlifting or get stronger is that I remember one of the first few times that I started like goal setting in the gym, I was like, all right, I want to hit a 500-pound squat. I want to hit a 300-pound bench. I want to hit a 600-pound deadlift.
My first goals were 300, 400, 500.
Yep. And then I hit that, and like because we were young, we were able to push it. We didn't get hurt for somehow. I don't know how I didn't get hurt because I didn't do any of the programming.
I'm still
you
not
did.
Getting hurt, bro. It's insane sometimes.
Sometimes it's well, you got a good coach. That's for sure. You know, and he's managing you well. But I remember at that time I was just trying to go for 475 every time I squatted, right? Every week after week. I would fail it this week, fail it next week, and then sort of get it next week, but then try to clean it up the week after, and then get it the week after that. So then I go, okay, I'm going to add 5 pounds to each side or 10 pounds to each side. And then just slowly go up from that, and then eventually hit like a 495 squat. I remember my first powerlifting meet, I actually practiced in the back. It was at a Retro Fitness that's closed down in Piscataway, and there was one of the trainers there. He held like a powerlifting meet there. I've never heard of powerlifting. My buddies Noel and Alan got me into it, and I practiced my attempts in the back before I would go out there and hit it because I wanted to make sure I would hit it.
That's impressive.
Like that's how stupid it was. But yeah, I was able to just do well for a short period of time without getting hurt, and that's just how I progressively got stronger. Then joined up with Soya, and was just a knucklehead with Soya.
Soya's a knucklehead.
He's
the best. He's a teddy bear.
He's awesome, man, and it's like, damn, looking back at it now and thinking of myself in his shoes, like he probably took me on as a client, got excited, like, yo, he's gonna be strong. And then I started just being a knucklehead, just fucking around all the time, taking weeks off, not really going to...
Didn't you get hurt like for a while from snowboarding?
Yeah, that was way later though. That was later. That was like 2-3 years later. But yes. So imagine. I think I gave him more business as a physical therapist than as an actual client because I'm a fucking knucklehead.
Making him better both ways.
Really testing his patience, and pretty sure I'm the reason why he quit powerlifting, but that's okay. Nah.
He seems happy with jiu-jitsu.
He loves jiu-jitsu, so you're welcome for that.
You hear that, Soya? You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. No. He got to that by himself, though. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I think that powerlifting is such a really cool hobby. Because in situations like yourself, like people don't want to cut down to get abs. They don't really give a shit for abs. I mean, like they want to be healthy, but they just don't.
But be healthy in a fun way. Like like growing up, my father, but he's a cyclist, so literally every weekend, he had Fridays off. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. man would wake up at 6 a.m., go out for like a 4 or 5 hour bike ride. Just come home, just sit down on the front lawn, just drink his coffee, as happy he can be. And so I think that's what rubbed off on me for powerlifting is do something that's going to keep you fit, but do something that's going to make you happy.
Right, and it's a really neat hobby because, it, like you said, it keeps you. It's a hobby that keeps you fit.
Yeah, and like so I've been frustrated from powerlifting before. I've had like a bad session ruin my day, but at the end of the day, I always remember this is a hobby. Like I'm not making money off this. I'm spending money to do this. This is my choice, so I can't let it ruin my day. And
but it's still something to get passionate about, you know.
No, of course, and that's why that's
okay
a big reason I chose to do powerlifting is because
Yeah.
I missed the passion, the fiery competitive spirit.
Right, and then there's that aspect too. You know, instead of like for people that don't want that. They don't have the time or capacity to dedicate their whole life to a sport like, you know, football, basketball. They might go to play a pickup game and it's slightly competitive, but
it's not the same.
It's not because unless you're in a league, you're not really planning out.
You're not playing. When you go play pickup
progress.
Basketball, you're playing for bragging rights for 10 minutes before you play the next pickup game. Like
right. But and then, you know, I had friends who were in the league and they would meet up and play and practice. And I think that's probably the most similar
to what we
sensation to powerlifting. But
I've been looking into do like a league like that for rugby or lacrosse. Just
that'd be pretty cool.
Because I admit, like, as much as I love the competitiveness of powerlifting and doing it, it's boring sometimes.
Yeah,
it really
it's a lonely
is.
sport.
And I miss, you know, the feeling of going to war with brothers and team sport. So I've been trying to find like a lacrosse league or a rugby league to do.
And I think that's why Soya is so into jiu-jitsu and departed from powerlifting is because powerlifting you basically do it on your own.
Yeah.
But with jiu-jitsu you actually get to you do the same with powerlifting. You meet people, you talk to them, you get involved.
You get that
know.
in powerlifting. Some of my best friends are from powerlifting, like Jeremy, Adam. Like, they're some of my best friends in the world right now.
And that's like the awesome piece of it is it's a hobby that brings people together.
Yeah, absolutely. But like, there really is like that going to war with brothers aspect. It's like, you know, fighting for the guy alongside you. Like, I miss that so much with lacrosse. I'd love to get back on the field and play.
Yeah, that'd be pretty neat. That'd be pretty neat.
I'd be the strongest guy on the field by sure.
You definitely would be, but you'd also be the slowest.
Well, that's why I'm a goalie. So
your running mechanics would probably that's good.
That's why I'm the goalie.
Oh, but you just have to work on your Tell Neil to like program in some lateral squats so you can move side to side.
We were doing those for a while when I went to the district. And I got really good at those. the what is it, Cossack squats where you're going side to side.
Okay.
And Neil would look over. I would be on the turf at the district doing them, and he'd look over and like, you don't look like you weigh 280 pounds.
Yeah.
For how I was moving, like going side to side, I was getting low.
I'm telling you, you're fucking huge. You're buff, man. You're not fucking.
So I was just like, I'd never thought I had that. I'm like the least flexible person in the world. I can barely touch my back.
Touch your back right now.
I could only get to here.
Dude, those are goals, man. Those are goals.
Yeah, I mean, it's annoying in the shower. I have to have like the stick, and I look like I'm fucking like SpongeBob in the cartoons, just using the stick to wash my back because I can't touch my back.
Fucking buff SpongeBob at that.
The anchor arms.
Yeah. No, I think it's awesome because, like I was just talking about before, people cardio isn't for everybody. No. It gives you something to stick to for like months on end. Like I had a client, Novi, who said she's never really stuck to going to the gym for a long period of time, for like a month at a time, but it gives you something to obsess about in terms of like the process. Like you focus on how the way a squat looks, the mechanics, and you can get deep into anatomy, and then that actually allows you to, this is where it's like a gateway where people start to become like movement specialists, and they think they can like, you know, they can take the place of a physical therapist, but it's not the same. No, because they learned how to squat and deadlift and bench, and
I did one meet. DM me for coaching, $30 a month.
You know, but here's my thing on that too. On the other side, people who like get into this and think that they can coach, I think that's a good thing. I actually think that's a good thing. Like, good for you for having the balls to say, like, I can help you.
I think to an extent, because my issue with this is everyone and their mother's trying to monetize the sport right now and, like, trying to make it a living and make money off of it. And, yeah, good for you for having the confidence to be like, I can coach you to your next meet. But at the same time, would you hire a plumber who watched a YouTube video to fix your toilet?
No.
So to me, that's like the same thing. I'm not gonna I wouldn't hire a coach whose only qualification is they've done a meet, they hold a record of some sort.
Right.
I want someone who has an education. I want someone who can literally tell me why, this variation of squat will help me do this squat. Why this accessory movement is going to carry over. I want someone who knows the science behind it, who's studied it, who's read books, who's been taught it from experts.
Yeah.
Like they don't need to actually have a degree in it, but they need like, for example, Carl Gokon. He did mentorships with high-end level coaches. He went through 12 weeks on weeks on weeks of doing courses with them, learning from them on how they coach, why they coach certain movements. And like that's the kind of thing I think people need to look for in a coach.
Yeah.
My coach has a degree in exercise science. He's done mentorships with other coaches.
Yeah.
He still talks to other coaches and gets feedback from them on why he does certain stuff. So that's what makes a good coach.
I agree. I think the one attribute
that's sorry.
No, you go ahead.
So that's why what really irks me about like everyone and their mother thinking they can coach.
Yeah.
I can write a program.
Yeah.
Will it be a good program?
Yeah.
Like 90% unlikely, but I could write you a program and coach you in powerlifting, but I'm not going to be a good coach, and I'm going to be just taking advantage of someone who's looking to get into the sport.
That's why I think natural selection will weed those people out.
Yeah. I hope so, but it's been like this for so long.
Yeah, and it'll continue to be that way. Like I feel like people will start to coach because they want something different. They want a different challenge. So here's my, I guess this is the way I would define it, is if you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Like if you're doing it because you really have a passion for learning, you have a passion for teaching, and that's really key, is you have to have the passion for learning, not necessarily just wanting to do it just to do it. You have to actually like love learning and be a student and put yourself through mentorship programs, put yourself through a science degree. That will make you a good coach partially in powerlifting. But if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, like if you're just doing it for clout, if you're just doing it because everybody else is doing it, if you're doing it for money, then you're fucked. You're going to be terrible, and nobody's going to want to buy from you, and you're going to quit. And that's where I say natural selection will weed those people out.
So like there's like the idea that I think I first heard this idea from Nico, that when he first started coaching, he wouldn't charge a penny to his clients.
Yeah, dude.
And I think that's the way that if you're serious about coaching, that's the way to do it, because you're going to not charge them. They're going to work with you. You're going to learn. Yeah. And as you get better, then you can start charging. But like if you're charging money right off the get-go, you're in it for the wrong reasons.
And actually that's how I started off. And I'll be honest, that's how I started off. I started off coaching general health and fitness because it was weight loss. It's pretty simple. I started with Dan, and so I was really just leaning on Dan's mentorship, on coaching, and he's just like, it's gonna take you time. Charge them and get paid for your time and learn and do your best. Do your absolute best, and be selfless about it. And then I started realizing there's like a huge gap here, because like, yes, I'm helping people with weight loss, right? But then I started transitioning over to powerlifting, and that could be a lot more technical than just weight loss, because weight loss is they both have their beasts of their own, I've learned. So let's focus on powerlifting. So powerlifting, right? Very technical. You have to understand how to program, not just exercise selection, sets, reps, but you have to know why you have these numbers of sets, why you have these numbers of reps, and how people react to those sets and rep schemas and intensity loads over a given period of time. Because some people will react well to triples and doubles and they'll get stronger over time. Other people will actually just get stronger with volume. Yeah. And so you have to have that attention to detail, and you have to be very attentive to each individual. And people who get overwhelmed with like 15, 20, 30 clients at the same time, they like in the very beginning, without building up that capacity, they start to drown and they don't do well. And like as a natural selection, will weed those people out. Yeah. The other thing is then you have to focus on like body mechanics, because you don't want to injure these people, and everybody has different shapes and sizes. And so the cues that you give, like the cues I would give you, would probably not work for the cues I would give Nofi, who's a female 120 25-pound
I
lifter,
hope not.
right? And so you have to also adjust accordingly to that. And so when I realized that there's like a huge gap in my knowledge, that's actually when I started taking on some clients on for free. And I was just like, guys, I'll just coach you because I just need the experience to learn, to see how, number one, you would react, because also coaching people is another aspect on its own. Because some people psychologically react differently. Some people react well to harsh criticism. Other people, you
need to coddle them.
yeah, you need to throw the pill in the peanut butter and
give it to them. Yeah, so
give it to them well.
It's definitely, it's something. It's not fit
coaching
for
is a whole fucking beast.
I would never do it. One, I'm not very smart in science, so that's already a strike against me. And two, I just don't have the patience with people. Like, I would just snap at people left and right. So,
and that's another attribute you need, is like that patience, because like, you know, I've had to tell Neil not to swift kick you in the head so many times.
No, don't.
No.
Oh, I know I'm not the easiest athlete to work with. I like to think I make his life pretty easy. He doesn't need to baby me. He doesn't need to like he doesn't need to see every set. He knows I'm going to go in and put the work in. Right. But sometimes I'm just a little retarded. Like it's just how it is. I didn't know what the posterior chain was until 3 years into powerlifting. Yeah. I literally had to text him one day. I'm like, hey, like, you're saying this is supposed to help my posterior chain. What is that?
But that's okay. You know, that's another fallacy in coaching, is that I remember hearing a good coach should know what a quad is, but call it a thigh.
Yeah.
Or the front of the thigh.
Yeah, no, but I knew I needed to ask him eventually.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, you didn't have this background.
I told him, explain it to me like a retarded 5-year-old.
But that's, I'm going to hell. But that's not just you. Yeah. You know, in working with general health and fitness population, I've realized that, for example, like, if I'm telling you you're infraspinatus, supraspinatus, and you're going to use that to...
You might as well be speaking like Chinese to me.
Exactly. So instead, if I just tell you like the muscles in your back, like, oh, I know what that is. Yeah.
I know I have traps, lats, delts.
Right. So if I tell you like, and this is where like the marketing aspect differs from how I coach. Like, and when I market, I'm talking about adducting, abducting, because you need to market your knowledge, because then people don't know if you know what you're talking about. But when I'm telling people like adducting, like your arms, right? When under lifting, I tell them to clap like a monkey with the syllables.
Yeah, retarded 5-year-old.
But yeah, I think overall there are a lot of good qualities of a coach. To those people that are brave enough to say, "Hey, I'm going to start coaching," good for you.
Good for you, but be in it for the right reasons.
Yeah, and I would say like try to surround yourself with other coaches. That's how I got into it. I was totally against coaching. I was totally against it until Dan in a car said, "Hey, you want to join us?"
Yeah,
the strength district, and I was like, "What do you want?"
Brought life to the strength district.
I was like, "I don't know, man. I don't know." I was like, "What do you want me to do?" It's like, "Coach." I was like, "Are you gonna help me?" He was like, "Yeah, I'll help." I was like, "All right, cool."
Yeah, well, I mean, you were definitely in good hands there. You had great guys all around you: Neil, Dan, Scott.
Yeah. Scott came in afterwards when it became the district training facility. Pat came in, I think, about a year after that, a year before that. So for the longest time, when we first started, like Dan is probably like the best guy I know.
He's the nicest.
He is
being
like
alive.
Jesus Christ, it brings tears to my eyes how nice he is.
I'd
like,
walk into the district,
good.
He'd be just like, "Nate," and I was just like,
"Yeah, man, I would die for that guy.
You and me both.
I would kill for that guy.
I don't know if I'd kill for him.
I would
die for him.
I'd go to jail for like 20 years. I'd hide the body and I'd blame it on myself for him. But yeah, he's such a good guy. So when he first brought me on, no contract, no definition on what my role is, nothing.
Just had you there. Just
join me and, hey man, I trust you to carry on the brand of a company that I'm starting. And I don't.
That's big trust, especially because they literally started from nothing.
That's what I'm saying. And, you know, reputation is everything, especially as a sprouting business. And to be honest with you, I was not a good guy. I'm telling you, I don't know what the fuck he saw in me, but shit.
Clearly he saw something.
He saw something. And so, you know, he brought me on and there was no classification as to what I'd be doing. He just we got involved with this mastermind class for coaches that taught us how to get clients online, and we were just both kind of going through this learning phase together as individual coaches, and Neil as well. The three of us, just three individual coaches under the same banner, doing it together. And I think to some degree that alleviates some of the fear because, you know, starting a business on your own, it can be scary, but when you got your two buddies with you, it's not bad. You're going through it together.
Did you ever train anybody out of where the gym you guys had in Livingston, the Zap?
No, see, that's the thing is like I wasn't. When I first started taking on clients, I wasn't certified. I was still I was still studying for my National Academy of Sports Medicine certification, personal training, CPT-CPT. I had taken anatomy classes, but really I was leaning on Dan and Neil.
So
I would ask them, like, what do you think about this program?
Would you be at the Zap?
No, I couldn't because I wasn't insured.
So you were just like at Adelante.
Yeah, I was at Adelante, and then that was the other thing is Maku, like another blessing in my life. Let me take on clients at Adelante and train them at Adelante. Most gyms don't do that. Most gyms want a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
But I think we had a mutual benefit in that people would sign up for membership.
And you'd get to coach them.
And I get to coach them. Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah, it was a win-win. And, you know, I'd always introduce him to him because he's the head honcho there. So that's basically how the 2019 went. Yeah. I was coaching on the TSD banner, training them at Adelante. We'd get results. People would be losing weight. And then 2020 happened.
Yep.
Pandemic shut down, joined the mastermind class. We tried doing strictly online. It was a lot of learning. And so I think now, fast forward now, what's going on is, when it came down to it, a lot of thought went into it in terms of my role, future there. And I just realized, like, I'm being a pussy, man. I'm being a pussy in that I'm being afraid to not start my own thing. To not start my own brand, to not build it up, to not put my own money on the line. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do my own thing. I'm going to start my own brand, online fitness. Not really tied down to one location. I've still trained people out of there. I'm training Elias there. Oh, tonight, actually, today's Friday. Yeah, I'm going there tonight. It allows me to branch out. So if I want to train at other places, I could do that, which I also have thoughts of doing. Yeah, I want to. And so now it puts me in the zone of like, okay, now I'm the owner of this business and I got to know how to bring this business up. It's an online business. It's really an online business. With some in-person training involved for locally, but my vision for it is to really develop it as an online fitness business that is impactful, because one of the things also was I've learned that a big what's the word, trend a big trend nowadays with online businesses is online mentorship programs.
Okay.
Where they have a lot of just libraries of stuff and you gain access to it. Like PR's Performance, Sean Noriega, Steve Danovi, they
have the powerlifting. Was it Powerlifting Now?
Powerlifting Now. Yeah. Yes.
I don't know if I'll ever pay for that, but it sounds very interesting.
Yeah, I would.
It's because you're coaching.
Exactly.
That's useful to you.
That's their niche. That's their niche.
I don't need to teach myself that.
Right.
I know how my body works. My coach knows how my body works. I don't need to do it. But the fact that they did that though is very, very smart, and it's
brilliant. It's
big
scalable.
For the sport/hobby.
It's scalable. If you want to be a coach, you've got a place to go learn things from three different coaches.
Three different like top tier
coaches that have coached at national, international levels.
Yes.
And so I just want to do that, but I think the way I want to direct it is going to be general health, fitness.
Yeah.
And powerlifting is a part of that. Because
powerlifting can be applied to any form of fitness. It really can. It doesn't need to be competitive. Like that also comes down to, do you need to compete to be a powerlifter?
No. Yeah, in my opinion, no.
I mean, to be a competitive powerlifter, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I agree with you. Like, just practicing the movements will make you, etc. You play soccer, not competitively.
Are you a soccer player? Are you?
Are you? I don't know. It's a tough question.
I'd say yes.
I'd say yes.
I'd say
but
yes.
You play soccer. You're not a professional soccer player.
Right. You're not getting paid for it.
You play soccer.
Right.
You're a soccer player.
You might want to sign up for a
You'll
league.
sign up for a rec league.
Yeah.
But then that makes you competitive, doesn't it?
That makes you a competitive soccer player.
Yeah. Okay.
But not a
You're right.
professional soccer player.
Okay.
Just like neither of us are professional powerlifters.
We haven't made money performing powerlifting.
Performing
Playing powerlifting.
Playing lifting.
Just lifting.
Yeah.
I have made money lifting. I'm sponsored by 110.
Oh, nice.
So I haven't made money lifting. I've made money.
But you're a sponsored athlete now.
I'm technically a sponsored athlete. Yes,
Yeah.
I make $4 a month whenever I buy my own pre-workout using my code.
That's $4 more than
$4
any
more
other
dollars in my
pre-workout
bank
would
account.
be,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
It's not only $4 more in my bank. It's probably me saving $10 because I get 10% off the pre-workout and then I get the money back.
Shit, should we be saying this right now? Because
it doesn't. They know I'm the only one. You had them on for the podcast. I saw like the video in the.
yeah, I'm excited for that one to drop.
Kevin and
I love when
Kevin,
he goes off.
When
he pops off.
He's a New Jersey Bill Burr.
Yeah.
He's the New Jersey Bill Burr. He's a ginger. He has a very unique voice, and he's fucking hilarious.
He is.
He is one of my favorite people. I like him so much. So, in fact, I'm responsible for 110 being an international brand.
Oh, because you brought it to Israel?
No, not to Israel, to England.
To England.
So when so I was living in Israel at the time though, but I knew about 110. I knew he was growing the business, and I was hearing from everyone back home about how great the brand was. Yeah, the pre-workout was good. It tasted good. All this stuff. I was in a group chat with him. We'll leave it at that. I was in a group chat with him, and we were talking. And so I was on a friendly basis with him through the group chat, and he and I started texting each other. And I said to him, I'm like,
which, by the way, guys, 110% supplement brand.
Discount code Nate. But so I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, dude, I have these connections in England. I have a really good friend who's a top class lifter over there.
Oh, fucking, what's his name?
Ben Pape.
Fuck, he's so strong.
He's I think it's sixth in the world right now in the 105s.
That doesn't make sense.
It's unbelievable. I feel like
he's
also like the nicest guy in the world.
He looks like he walks off smiling.
He's so nice. I love him.
He's like, holy shit, did I just lift that?
he's whenever I get a chance to lift with him when I'm in England, it's so fun.
Fuck.
But
his technique is good too.
I mean, so he's a guy that's in it for the right reasons. He's a full-time coach. He's a university coach.
Okay.
And all his life is literally powerlifting.
Shit.
And he's in it just straight up for the love of the sport. He doesn't care about making money. Mm-hmm. He cares about making the sport better. Mm-hmm. But so anyways, I hit up Kevin. I'm like, look, dude, like I know how much this means to you. I know you're literally putting your life's money, like you are gambling your entire life savings on this brand. Mm-hmm. And I want to help you any way I can. I have this buddy. Let me put you in contact with him. So I made a group chat with me, Ben, and Kevin, and I introduced them, and they worked out for Kevin to send out a trial supplement to Ben for him to try, and Ben loved it. And so now Kevin, I don't know the logistics of it, but he sends out like tons and tons of product to Ben, and Ben distributes it around England. Mm-hmm. And so that.
Oh shit! So he's a distributor in England.
He's
an unofficial distributor.
I don't know if it's unofficial or official, but like he's the main go-to guy in England. Right. And now like everyone because through everyone I follow through Ben from my time lifting in England when like going, I've been to 4 or 5 gyms out there. Great facilities. And so all of them are using 110 nowadays.
Nice.
It's really cool to see. And like
that's awesome. Yeah, 110% is like really
I hadn't even tried 110 at that point. Okay. I literally was just like, I'm going off like word of mouth. Like this is what my friends are telling me. I know Kevin. I know he's a good guy. I hear his product is good.
It's great.
It's beyond. It's amazing. Great. It's really good.
I love the fact that it's just like not a bunch of bullshit in there. It's not a lot of stimulants.
Look, you could sell me a bunch of bullshit. I'm not going to know the difference, but like
I feel the difference.
Like I said,
man.
I know him. I know why he's passionate about this, and so I trust him. Yeah. And like the flavors are good,
delicious.
The Wheeze Sprite flavor was one of my favorite flavors.
The Wheeze Sprite?
We like Wheeze, you know, the lifter.
I haven't tried the Sprite flavor.
It was lemon lime, but it
was a Sprite flavor?
Yeah, it's Sprite.
Why did I sleep on that?
Like when you shake it, I don't know. You'd have to talk to him.
I
mean,
really
the
hope
warehouse is in
auto.
Jersey City, so if he has a spare one, I'm sure he could sell it to you.
But fuck, man, that sounds delicious.
So, but he and I are in talks right now for a Nate's special edition
a
flavor.
Nate's.
You ready for this?
Yes.
Chicken bacon ranch. Jeremy Schuster came up with that
Wait,
idea.
why chicken bacon ranch?
I don't know, but
Do
Jeremy,
you like chicken bacon and ranch together?
I haven't had chicken bacon ranch since I was probably a fatty in freshman year.
So you're like taking on this fatty persona in a proud way.
So
Is that
Jeremy
what's going
Schuster
on?
came up with this idea. Like he just
a vegetarian,
a vegan came up with
chicken.
Just as it was like as a
ranch.
joke. And then so whenever he posts, oh, what should our new flavors be? I'm always posting chicken bacon ranch. Make it happen. He's just like, all right, we're gonna do it. We're gonna make a limited batch
of chicken bacon and ranch.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I don't know when that's coming, but I hope it does. Like, I hope he's serious about making it come, and I am going to be very excited to try it, and probably going to throw up after. That sounds awful.
Chicken bacon ranch. It could either go very well if he makes it like.
I feel like you should make that more like a protein powder flavor. I feel like you have more chances of making that taste better than a pre-workout flavor. Either way, it's not going to taste good. But when have you ever had like a savory flavored pre-workout?
Savory.
A savory pre-workout.
Like
they're all like a sour candy.
Okay.
Candy like apple fruity flavor.
Right.
Protein powder on the other hand, I've had peanut butter flavor. Like not necessarily.
Yeah, they're
super
usually
savory.
sweet. They're usually sweet.
Not like super savory, obviously, but like chicken bacon ranch. But like I've had more savory protein powder.
I should have asked him that. Why is it that pre-workouts aren't like in vanilla?
Well, you could always have them come back. Like
definitely gonna have them come back, but
I'd come back with
like I would have loved that. Like, why isn't there like a chocolate pre-workout? Is it because it's the texture is juice?
I bet you it has to do with the ingredients.
Like water.
The ingredients that you have to do first of all, I think it's what you mix it with.
Yeah.
Because you never mix your pre-workout with anything but water. Maybe Gatorade.
Right.
But it's always something you drink during your workout. No one's going to drink milk during a workout. And you mix your protein powder with milk because that's what protein powder is made from.
Yeah, but you could also drink your protein powder with water.
Yeah, but that's gross.
Yeah. Don't judge me.
I've mixed my protein powder with water before, and I just wanted to shoot myself. It tasted awful.
Dry scoop.
Dry scoop protein powder.
Ooh. There's an idea.
Yeah, but what do you wash it down with?
Gatorade. Actually, yes, I've mixed an orange Gatorade with vanilla.
But that you see,
delicious.
That could work because you're like making a vanilla creamsicle, like an orange creamsicle,
or a fruit punch with vanilla.
I had a Dymatize orange creamsicle protein powder, and that was gross.
Wow.
It was. I hated it. It was disgusting.
Why?
It was too it was sweet and sour. Like it wasn't good.
Probably just the way that
I like my protein powders. I've had strawberry protein powder. That's good. I love I like it with vanilla, chocolate. I like it basic. I've had the GNC brand Thin Mint flavor. That was good.
Okay. I've had
I'm
like
a sucker for Thin
some of
Mints.
those other like the Chips Ahoy versions.
Those were all right.
Those were too much for me.
Yeah, they were good. Like it was like, oh, this isn't like hard to drink, but
flavor,
like it was just too much.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have that twice a day.
No, like a good cookies and cream from like Optimum or Dymatize. Those were good.
Those are good. Yeah.
Like, I don't need an Oreo flavor with Oreo chunks in it.
Yeah, I'm okay. What are you doing now in terms of like your diet and nutrition?
Right now, I'm just kind of, just chilling with it.
You're just eating whatever?
Not just eating whatever, but like, I'm not, chicken, rice, spinach. I'm not eating I'm not on like a bodybuilder diet. Like I have buddies who do bodybuilding and I see that they eat one of my buddies sent me his eating schedule. I'm like, this looks fucking awful.
What are you eating then?
I mean, my go.
Like what do you do? Just generally
like
speaking.
so, my go-to like the only thing I really eat the same is like my pre-workout meal. I like to keep that the same because I know it works.
Okay.
I don't change from it, and I usually have good lifts.
And what's that?
And so what I'll do is 125 grams of rice.
Okay.
Before I cook it, so you multiply that at 3. That's 375 grams of cooked rice.
Okay.
And so what I do with the rice, I'm actually very different when I cook my rice. I put a little bit of oil in the water, and then I put some chicken stock in.
What does that do?
It keeps it from sticking, first of all. Like
okay.
When you finish, because I don't use a rice cooker, I use a pot.
Uh-huh.
And then it just gives it a little more, like it gives it a little fat, gives it a little more flavor, So I put a little chicken stock in, and then this is where I get really crazy. I put in about quarter kilo, so 250 grams of grape tomatoes in with my rice when I cook it. And so it breaks apart while it boils, and it makes the rice more flavorful.
Oh.
And it's really good. And you get your veggies and fiber that way.
Oh.
And then I'll also do 12 ounces of ground turkey and spinach.
Okay.
And so a nice fat bowl of turkey, rice, and veggies.
Yeah.
Eat that. Hour later, go lift and kick ass on my workout.
Scrumptious.
It's delicious.
And besides that, what do you do? Like in the morning, you wake up. What do you have for breakfast?
It depends when I wake up.
Yeah.
If I'm going to work, like when I go to work, I would bring a Jimmy Dean's frozen thing of like egg whites and turkey sausage and potatoes.
Okay.
And it was like 300 calories.
Take it to the office?
Yeah, just take it, microwave it at the office, and eat it there. It's enough to get me to lunch. I'll maybe bring like a Fairlife protein shake with me too.
Okay.
Then eat my rice, turkey, all that fun stuff. Go work out, and then I'll have like another Fairlife protein shake. It costs the same amount as buying a tub of protein, really, to buy like a pack of 12 of those. And then I really love some chicken thighs.
Okay.
Chicken thighs are my fucking favorite.
Yeah, they're better than breasts.
Oh, breasts. Breasts it depends how you cook the breasts.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Well, if you fry the breast, it's delicious.
But if you fry the chicken thighs, better.
I disagree. So I'm a huge schnitzel guy.
Okay.
And that comes from my time in Israel.
Schnitzel?
Schnitzel.
What's a schnitzel?
A schnitzel is just a breaded chicken that's fried.
Okay.
And so that comes from my time in Israel. And I've done it with both breast and thigh. And the thigh is good because thigh is fatty and it's delicious. But when you like have a nice thin piece of chicken breast, like hammered out, and fry it in schnitzel, not much better than that.
But do you think that you must have just like fucked up the thigh?
No,
I'm a huge thigh advocate here. I'll die on the thigh.
I'll die on the thigh too. But like, I think there's very few times like a chicken parm. I think is much better with breast than thigh.
I haven't tried it. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it with the breast. The thigh. I'm gonna try making it with the breast
because it's easy. It's harder to cook the
and yes, I'm having an argument right now on thighs because I'm so adamant, man.
I don't, dude. Like I said, I have 2 chicken breasts in my fridge. I probably have 20 chicken thighs in my fridge right now.
Oh fuck
because
yeah.
Thighs are better than breasts.
Yeah.
You know, I'll chop up a little breast to throw in with the thigh to get a little more protein content.
Yeah, more meats.
But like the thigh is the best part of the chicken.
Yeah.
It's better than the wing, and I love wings, and it's better than the breast, and I love breast.
And you get skinless, boneless chicken thighs, right?
Yeah, of course. Well, one, because like when I'm measuring the skinless bone, the bone just throws everything off when you're trying to measure it. But 2, like I don't want to have to fucking like pick the bone out of my mouth when I eat it or like cut around it. It's a pain in the ass.
Right.
So.
And the reason I ask is because a lot of the whole reason for this podcast is just people listen to what you do. See a really buff guy. They'll probably be like, what is he doing? And so here's like in the life of Nate.
My go-to though protein source, like meat-wise, is 93.7 ground turkey or ground beef.
Fuck yeah.
Both ones are great. Just depends what I'm in the mood for. I find that I could do the 93.7 ground turkey without any seasoning, but the 93.7 ground beef, I need the seasoning on because I find the beef to be more bland than the turkey.
Okay.
So
okay.
The deli by my apartment, they sell ground ostrich, ground wild boar.
Oh.
I want to try the ostrich.
I want to try the ostrich too.
I bet you that's really good.
Do they have other types of ostrich parts?
No, only frozen pound ground ostrich.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever had like elk or anything like that?
No.
Elk is delicious.
I'd like to try some.
So when I was living in New Hampshire my senior year of college, I was right next to a food co-op. And the local hunters would bring in their elk meat and sell it to the food co-op. And so they would sell fresh ground elk, and I would go buy that. It was like $30 a pound. But I was living off daddy's money in college, so it was okay. And so I would buy that, and it was so good. It's like, have you ever had venison?
I've had venison.
It's like venison's very so gamey.
Yeah.
It's like less gamey. Like it's not as chewy and bland as venison.
Okay.
So it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I'd make it with like pasta and just have like ground elk and pasta.
Yeah.
What normal white boys in New Hampshire
have. But awesome, man. Well, thanks for hopping on.
My pleasure, dude. I hope to be back sometime.
You're definitely going to be back. Yeah, that's it.